these pills.
Here, Father. I'm here.
My pills. I need my pills.
You mean these?
No. No. That's murder. That's murder.
You'll never prove it.
Stop. Stop!
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, what is it?
Do you remember the conversation that we had yesterday?
Well, of course, about proving Dorian murdered your father. I also remember telling you to think twice about this before you open the can of peas.
Yep. I did that. I thought twice. In fact, I've thought about nothing else since then. Even dreamt about it. Had a nightmare.
What was it?
You were in it, and Father.
Dorian.
Oh, yeah, Dorian was in it. Dorian was the star. It was mostly just a sort of jumble of feelings and thoughts. It's not really that important. What's important is that it set something off in me, Sloan. And I know now that I have to do this.
Prove Dorian did it.
Yes, I really don't think that I will be able to live with myself if I didn't see this through to the end. Do you understand?
This all sounds right. But when you get right down to it, aren't you playing Dorian's game? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
This is not about revenge. This is about justice.
Now, isn't that what Dorian said when she went after me?
Oh, come on. This is slightly different. You wrote a very truthful book that she took as a personal attack on her because her whole life is about revenge. She always blames other people for her problems so that she never has to face the root cause, which is herself. Do you really believe I'm just being spiteful?
Of course not. But a person like Dorian...
Sloan, Dorian murdered my father. This is not some imagined slight, some wound to my ego. We're talking about a crime.
If true, I agree, but we're not sure.
Oh, of course we're sure. We only need the proof to make sure she pays.
No matter what the cost.
You know what the alternative is, don't you? We pretend we don't know the truth, and we continue to let her get away with it.
We've seen how dangerous she can be when her back is to the wall. All I had to do was imply that she was involved with your father's death, and what did she do? She practically destroyed me. She destroyed Cassie's baby in the process. What will she do when she finds out you're trying to gather hard evidence against her?
Fortunately, I know her pretty well, and I know how cruel and how destructive she can be. And I don't care. I am not going to let that stop me.
All because of a dream.
No, it wasn't just a dream. Sloan, it was more than a dream. It was almost like Hamlet's father coming back, crying out for justice. I know my father wasn't perfect, but he did not deserve to die at her hand. She took everything away from him. And if there is any justice left on this earth, she has to be punished. Now, I can do that. But I need your help. See, I think the problem is we didn't know what to look for. But if we go through all the research and all the background work that you did on my father's biography...
Do you have any idea how many boxes of notes I've accumulated over the last few years?
I can imagine. I'm also quite convinced that somewhere, in among all those notes, is the one piece of evidence that Dorian is so afraid of. The one thing that will prove that she murdered my father. And no matter how long it takes, I will find it. Good morning, Blair.
I told you yesterday I had nothing to say to you.
If you would just give us 15 minutes...
It's very, very important to Vicky and to me.
Blair, why else would I be here in Miami, away from my family this close to Christmas?
All right, Vicky. I'll bite. Why are you here and why would I care?
Only because it will give you the chance to finally stop the woman who caused your mother so much pain, who kept you away from your mother. Please listen to me, Blair, for Addie's sake. Do you have information that you could give us?
I believe I do, Vicky.
Are you willing to share the information?
Of course I am, Vicky. For a price. Thanks to Dorian, I can't even visit my own mother at St. Anne's Hospital. They won't even tell me how she's doing.
Well, that's ridiculous. Her own daughter?
Right. All right, Vicky. Here's the deal. I'll tell you everything I know on one condition. A very simple one, actually. That you find out how my mother is doing and take a Christmas present from me.
Well, of course I'll do that for you, Blair. I'll do whatever I can to put you in touch with Addie again.
Thank you.
So will you tell us what you know?
Dorian and I spent an evening depleting her liquor cabinet, and I made sure that she did more damage than I did, and eventually she became very relaxed. And we started talking about Victor Lord, and she began to ramble on and
Did
on.
she talk about his death?
Yes. She came this close to saying that she deliberately killed him.
When did she make that statement?
Not that night.
You mean she did later on?
Yes, but not in her own words.
I mean, what does that mean, not in her own words?
Well, not on her own. She had a guilty conscience, and I used that against her. I, kind of tricked her into signing a murder confession.
A murder confession? How did you do that?
Well, it was pathetically easy, actually. I just slipped the confession in with her papers that she needed to sign, important papers, and she never even noticed.
So, of course, you used this confession to,
Blackmail Dorian into giving me the editorship of The Intruder. She was so freaked out that someone was going to see that little piece of paper.
But didn't she confront you with this? Didn't she deny it?
Oh, she did her usual huffing and puffing, you know, Dorian. But when she thought that I was going to show Cassie that piece of paper, she backed down so fast I knew that she was guilty, that she had done it. She had murdered Victor. Or why not just blow me off?
What happened to the signed confession?
I gave Dorian one copy when I left town.
Well, guaranteed she destroyed that.
well, there were copies, weren't there?
Just one more. My mother got a hold of it and hid it in our apartment, Cassie's loft, where we were staying at the time.
And where is it now?
I don't know. I never could find out where she hid it. Could possibly still be there.
You think Dorian found it?
Well, there's no way to tell for sure, but she always finds a way to cover up her tracks. And we all know she is capable of anything.
Did Dorian ever mention a nurse, Ethel Crawford?
Have you checked Dorian's bank records lately? Ethel Crawford was being paid to stay quiet. Quite handsome sums of money.
How would you know that?
Well, I used my position as Mrs. Asa Buchanan to make banking contacts to get Dorian's banking account records. There were biannual checks written over long periods of time to Ethel Crawford. Big checks.
Did you tell Dorian that you knew that?
Oh, of course I did. Funny thing, Crawford just ups and disappears.
Yeah, well, we found her. She lives in Charlottesville, Virginia. She's a very private person. See, I got the lead and tried to track her down when I was writing the book, with no luck. But yesterday we got lucky. Vicky called her and reached her, but she wouldn't talk about Victor's death. She simply hung up on her.
Of course she did. Dorian has gotten to her again. If you two are really out to nail Dorian, you've got a tough job ahead of you. That woman has spent the last 18 years of her life covering her tracks, and she's good at it.
Don't I know it? But you see, Blair, this time I'm quite determined that she's not going to wriggle out of it. She has hurt far too many people. It's time she paid the price.
Hate you? Vicky, I'm the last one to criticize you for wanting the truth.
Even if it means that your mother...
My mother made her choice 18 years ago, the night that your father died. And ever since then, there's been some sort of cover-up going on. I think it's time that all of us, not just you, but all of us learn the truth about what really happened.
How dare you talk to my daughter about the truth?
Oh, Dorian.
Vicky, your precious truth is nothing more than a vindictive obsession with destroying me.
Mother,
Cassie, if Vicky is so fond of the truth, why don't we just tell it like it is? Victoria Lord Buchanan hates me because I married her daddy, Victor Lord. Her jealousy, her twisted sense of daughterly love are the reasons that I am here in this courtroom today.
No, Dorian, you brought all this on yourself.
You need to believe that, don't you? I'm so sorry you're going to be disappointed. The judge just granted me bail.
Well, that's his decision.
Is it really? It seems to me that I shouldn't have had to pay any bail whatsoever if you hadn't bought off my lawyer.
Oh, I'm quite sure the judge was more than fair.
As fair as things get in this town when your name isn't Buchanan. Speaking of which, Beau's in there right now just pushing his weight around as the new police commissioner. Really, why don't you spare the county the expense of putting me on trial? Drag me off to the guillotine. Have done with it.
If you're finished, I will leave you to talk to your daughter. Bye, Cassie.
bye, Vicky.
Darling, all I'm asking is that you stand by me, that we show the world that we're united, a family.
Mother, I won't do that. See, my family's now with Andrew. And if I am ever going to have a life of my own, I have to protect myself from you, Mother. From your lies.
Cassie, you can't mean that.
I've never meant anything more in my entire life. My sanity is at stake. Goodbye, Mother. I'm sorry.
I hope you're happy.
Dorian, I take no pleasure in
Oh, stop it! You love all of this, don't you? Of course. You got the house. You got the newspaper. You got the police department, and now you got my daughter. I promise you, Vicky, you will never, ever have the satisfaction of seeing me convicted for murdering your father.
You think you won't be convicted? We'll see about that. The wheels of justice may turn slowly, Dorian, but eventually they do catch up.
Mrs. Lord!
How does it feel to be charged with murder, Dorian?
I am innocent, and I'm going to prove it. That's all I have to say.
Are you angry that the judge let her out on bail?
I am not her judge nor her jury. That is all I have to say.
But could you please just...
We just need to get some more information from
Well, what about Ethel Crawford's testimony?
Ethel Crawford is a sad, sick woman.
How about your daughter, Miss Carpenter? How does she feel about this?
How dare you bring my daughter into this? And everybody, get out of my way. Oh. Well, Elizabeth, thank goodness. How nice to see a friendly face.
Oh, poor Dorian. I feel so sorry. I mean, it's bad enough to kill a husband, but to get caught after 18 years, that really is bad luck.
Here's a statement for all of you. I did not kill Victor Lord. But leave it to a backstabbing gossip like you to convict me before I've been put on trial. Excuse Mrs. Lord. Please don't tell me it's the busy season. Nobody's busier than I am. Anywhere, as long as it's on the continent. Rome? Oh, yes, indeed. Rome is very good. How soon can I leave? Oh, that's marvelous. No, I can make it if I leave right away. Yes, fine. Cost? No, there's no object. Just make sure that you save that last seat on the plane for me. Oh, of course. My name. My name is, Blair Daimler. Arrivederci, Landview.
Dorian, I was so glad. What's with the suitcase? And where do you think you were running off to?
Can't you tell that I'm desperate here? I really am. I mean, Vicky has turned everybody in this town against me. She owns the newspaper. She owns the police department, the DA. She's even managed to buy herself Chet, my ever-faithful attorney.
But Dorian, you have not lost Cassie. Yet. Dorian, but if you skip town and you jump bail,
It's no use, Blair. You're wrong. I have lost Cassie. I've lost her. And this time, it may be forever.
Well, face it, Dorian. I'm all you got.
Oh, vice versa, dear. I am your ticket to the good life. You can't afford to let me go to prison.
All right. Well, then let's get down to business here. Cut to the chase. You need a lawyer, big time.
Right. A good lawyer. A very good lawyer, the best in the world. I'm gonna call Chicago, ask Herb his advice.
Wait. Before you get all crazy here, and you need to keep your eye on the prize. You need someone who's gonna restore your credibility in town.
Yes, so?
So no legal gunslinger from out of town, someone from here, someone with a pristine moral character, sterling reputation, someone young, dynamic, imaginative. Hey, are you listening to me here?
Of course I am. And I know exactly who you mean. Hello, Nora. Is Bo in?
No, as a matter of fact, he's not, so
That's
if you'd like to
fine.
leave a
I
message.
want to talk to you. In private.
Me?
May I come in? I promise I won't bite, despite what you may have read about in the papers.
I wasn't really expecting company, so...
It's all right. I'm not going to stay long. Actually, I want to ask you a question, the most important question I've ever asked anyone.
Well, that's some question.
It's a legal one, which brings me to you. I'm about to offer you the case of a lifetime. I'm being charged with the murder of my late husband, Victor Lord. Or haven't you heard?
Oh, who hasn't? But that has nothing to do with me.
It has everything to do with you because you're going to be right in the middle of everything.
What do you mean?
I've decided to let you take the case. Nora Gannon, you're going to be my lawyer. This is going to be the biggest trial of the year, maybe the decade.
What happened to the century? Or has the Lindbergh kidnapping still got that top slot?
Kid all you like, Nora. But you know I'm offering you a golden opportunity.
Dorian, you should be your own attorney. My goodness, you've got the sales pitch down cold.
I want you.
What happened to Chet Sims? I thought he was representing you.
He was until recently.
There was a problem?
Yes. But let's not waste time talking about Chet. I'm here to talk about you.
I thought you were the star of the show, Dorian.
I know why you're being so chilly. You think that you weren't my first choice. Get that out of your mind, my dear. I was going to fire Chet anyway so that I could ask you to take on the case.
Well, you didn't have to take such drastic action.
Why not?
Because there's no way I'd accept your case. Ever.
When questioned following her release on bail, Ms. Lord vehemently denied the charges against her, calling them outrageous, vindictive lies.
Well, Vicky,
Talk about brazen.
what do you expect Dorian to say to a reporter? That she's guilty as sin?
Well, that would be refreshing, though not very likely.
Patience, my dear. You will have your day in court.
Dorian, The Intruder covered Marty Saybrook's rape trial. I mean, you certainly read it. You certainly know that I caused a mistrial.
On purpose, some say.
Well, there may be some truth in that, but you know why? Because I found it very difficult. No, I found it impossible to vigorously and wholeheartedly defend someone whose innocence I questioned, let alone doubted.
So you're saying that you think I murdered Victor Lord, even though you haven't heard my side of the story. Nora, for God's sake, what happened to the rights of the accused? What happened to, better yet, innocent until proven guilty? For goodness sake, your respect for the law, for due process, should dictate that you at least listen to what I have to say.
No, Dorian, I will not listen to your story.
Why not?
Because that's all it is, a story.
In other words, you think I'm a liar even though you haven't given me the chance to say a word.
Look, the most important thing in my practice is the relationship I have with the client. It is based on trust. And to be perfectly blunt, I could never believe anything that you'd ever have to say.
You barely know me.
I represented Sloane Carpenter when Emily Haynes brought sexual harassment charges against him. That whole case was built on fantasy, not Emily's, yours. You were so bent on destroying Sloane. Cassie's life was shattered. Why? Because you kept lying. Dorian, there's nothing more to say. I have to take this phone call in private. I'm sure you can find your own way out. Hello? Oh, yes, Judge. Oh, I wasn't aware that it was being scheduled. What I suggest? All right. Yes.
Here you are. What's the big emergency here? I have just found, bar none, the most perfect lawyer in this town.
Well, that's great.
No, it isn't. It's a disaster.
Why?
It's Nora Gannon.
Oh.
She would rather contract bubonic plague than take my case.
Naturally.
But I have found the perfect way to make her take it.
So when did you speak with Nora Gannon? This morning?
No, yesterday.
Well, she certainly is good.
Oh, really? I mean, her reputation in Illinois, here in Llanview, she's the best.
It's just too bad that she's engaged to Bo Buchanan.
Well, I didn't say she had the best taste in men. Anyway, while I was there, I glanced through some of her legal papers.
You looked through her papers?
Well, of course I did. They were lying out there in the open. She is presently engaged with one of those court-assigned pro bono cases that lawyers have to take.
Yeah, I know all about the pro bono cases, but Dorian, those are for people who can't afford an attorney. I don't think that you qualify here.
Blair, darling, you know what your problem is? Sometimes you don't get the big picture because you're sweating the small stuff. Our mission,
If I choose to accept it.
is to match up my name with Nora's name the next time she's assigned a case.
Dorian, that is a 1 in a million shot.
Not with me, it isn't.
All right, well, how do you plan on pulling this one off?
That, my dear, darling, beautiful niece, that is where you come in.
Ow. Ouch. Oh, these earrings are they're just killing me. Is that supposed to be a bribe? I just want everyone here to get what they want. That's all.
Uh-oh. What? Dorian.
The president of Lantano Bank stopped by to see me. It seems that Dorian wants to transfer a few mil into some overseas accounts, and she wants all that done real fast.
You're kidding.
He got suspicious as soon as he heard that she was out on bail.
Well, you know what that means, don't you? She's going to skip bail and she's going to leave the country. She really will do anything to get away with murder.
Dorian Lord? Yes, may I help you?
Yeah, you can come downtown with me. The district attorney wants to talk to you. Right now.
What's up?
Hey, Commission. Listen, I need you to come down to the courthouse.
Did the judge agree to a hearing?
Yep. And one of your officers found Dorian Lord. She's bringing her in as we speak.
We got her.
I mean, this is insane. First you have me summoned to your office in the middle of the night.
Dorian, it is not the middle of the night.
And now you want to drag me into some kind of hearing. I've cooperated with you, Hank, right from the beginning. I don't deserve to be treated with these Gestapo tactics, and I'm telling you, I won't stand for it.
Fine. There are chairs in there. If you won't stand, then sit.
Don't mock me. I'm not a criminal. I refuse to be treated like one.
Then stop acting like one, Dorian. Or come up with a better explanation for why you transferred one heck of a lot of money overseas.
I told you. I have my reasons. And none of them are any of your business.
Well, that answer's not good enough. And believe me, the judge is going to be even less understanding than I am.
I'll take my chances.
You do that, Dorian, because I've got a free cell over at County Jail, and I'm perfectly willing to have you sleep in it, starting tonight.
Oh, perfect. Yes, indeed. Here comes Queen Victoria to take her place in the peanut gallery.
Hello, Hank.
Hello, Vicky.
Well, checking to see how your toadies are carrying out your orders.
Dorian, when will you learn that you are the one responsible for this mess that you are in?
Don't talk to me about responsibility when you have single-handedly orchestrated this entire charade.
That's enough, Dorian.
For goodness sakes, don't you have anything better to do than go scampering around town to witness the latest humiliating scene in my life?
I wouldn't miss a second of it.
You smug, self-
I said that's enough. Officer Minor, get her inside. Oh, and find Sergeant Stubbs. He's looking for you.
Yes, sir. Come on, you heard the man. Move it.
Don't you dare order me around. Don't even think about it.
Hey, I can make it nice with a little dignity, or I can make it ugly.
Your Honor, surely you cannot believe a word that Mr. Gannon has just said. The man is delusional. Now, I insist that you order him to release me immediately.
The only person doing any insisting around here is me, Miss Lord.
Don't you see, Your Honor, his charges are absolutely baseless. I did not intend to flee the country. I have a family, and I intend to clear my name if it's the last thing I do.
I'm very happy to hear that. Now, would you please sit down?
If there's anybody to blame here, it's Mr. Gannon himself. Really, I should sue him for harassment.
Your Honor, this behavior is typical of Miss
He
Lord.
is supposed to be serving the people, and the only person that he is serving is Victoria Buchanan.
Would you please sit down, Miss Lord? I will not tolerate this kind of behavior. Where is your lawyer?
Your Honor, I don't have one.
Excuse me?
I have tried and tried, but I cannot find anybody in this town willing to represent me. Which is not surprising, considering that the police, the DA's office, and the media are all owned by my accuser, Victoria Buchanan. They have all teamed up to declare me guilty. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I've given up all hope of finding somebody with enough integrity, ethics, decency to defend me. In fact, I've given up looking.
That's not a very wise decision for someone facing a murder charge.
I know that, but I am forced to go it alone and defend myself.
I am going to personally assign you a lawyer from the pro bono list, whoever is on duty next. But you, not the Commonwealth, will pay all legal fees.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Miss Mason, who are the next 3 local attorneys due for pro bono work?
That would be John Gibson, Christine Savory, and Nora Gannon.
Miss Mason, would you run those 3 names by me again, please?
Yes, Your Honor. John Gibson, Christine Savory, and Nora Gannon. I happen to know that John Gibson is unavailable.
What's his excuse?
A skiing accident, I believe. His secretary said he was laid up in a hospital in Colorado.
And you can cross off Miss Savory, too. She's off in Harrisburg arguing the DeSolo case. I guess that leaves Nora Gannon.
I object, Your Honor. Not Nora Gannon. Anyone but Nora Gannon.
Miss Lord.
Please, she has been worse than the press. I mean, I just saw her outside in the hallway now, nosing around.
Enough! One more word out of you and your bail will be revoked immediately without question. Miss Mason, go see if you can find Miss Gannon hanging around out there.
Excuse me, Miss Gannon?
Yes.
Judge Fitzwater would like to see you inside.
Me? I'll be right back. Judge Fitzwater, you wanted to see me?
Meet your new client, Dorian Lord.
What?
You heard me. Since she can't find a lawyer, I am assigning her one from the pro bono list. However, she will assume all financial responsibility.
I can't, Your Honor, I can't.
You can and you will. Miss Mason, make a notation that Nora Gannon will be the defense attorney in the Commonwealth versus Dorian Lord for the murder of Victor Lord.
No, I won't do it. There's absolutely no way.
Miss Gannon, you will come to my chambers right this second.
assume you're all terribly satisfied.
What happened?
Vicky, you really must have pulled in an awful lot of favors.
What are you talking about?
First, you get the district attorney to believe your lies and press charges against me. Then you get your brother-in-law to arrest me. And now his girlfriend is being appointed as my attorney?
What?
Don't worry, Vicky. Nora will never do it.
You hear me. And you hear me well. You will represent Dorian Lord. And you will defend her zealously, thoroughly, and to the best of your ability as stipulated by the Code of Legal Ethics. You remember, guilty or not guilty, a defendant is entitled to a good defense. And mark my words, counselor, if we find ourselves in these chambers yet again because of some courtroom stunt of yours, I promise you, I will see to it that you are disbarred this time.
And if I never enter the courtroom? If I still refuse to take the client?
It'll all be the same. You will never practice law in this or any other jurisdiction again. The choice is yours, counselor.
How did it go?
Terrific. If you're a Judge Fitzwater fan.
Did she threaten you with disbarment again?
Yeah, she kind of likes playing that card with me, doesn't she?
Oh, great. You're stuck defending Dorian.
I did my best to duck it. I gave her 2 good solid reasons why I should be excused. One, because of my relationship with all of you. It's probably a conflict of interest. And 2, I think my client might be a murderer.
Well, didn't the judge take that into account?
No, she's completely unmovable. It's like trying to pull a tree stump up with nail clippers.
Well, we all know why.
Yeah, I know. Fitzy's still smoldering about the mistrial I caused at last year's spring fling trial. You know, I don't think she's ever going to forget that.
But, I mean, this is outrageous. Can she really have you disbarred for refusing?
Well, with the title judge in front of her and the American flag behind her, Barbara Fitzwater is the law.
So you're powerless?
Well, I didn't say that. I meant I could disobey her.
What? Look, Nora, we're not talking about a little smack on the back of the hand here. You're messing with disbarment. Are you really ready to face never practicing law again?
Nora, the hearing is about to resume. Since you are my attorney, I think we'd better sit down and discuss my case. It does pay to prepare.
All rise. The Court of Common Pleas of the City of Llanview, Lantano County, is now hearing recommendations for bail in the matter of the Commonwealth versus Dorian Lord. The Honorable Barbara Fitzwater presiding.
Please be seated. Court is now in session. It's late. Let's get right to the matter at hand. Counsel, are you prepared to offer argument in reference to increasing Miss Lord's bail? Miss Gannon, are you or are you not ready to represent the client assigned you by this court? We are waiting, Miss Gannon.
Your Honor, I have only one thing to say in reference to my client, and that is to increase her bail would be both unfair and unnecessary. Miss Lord's no threat to leave Llanview.
What makes you so sure?
She has been a long-standing member of the community. She has family here. She has business commitments here, and my client's depressed, to use her own words.
Explain.
Your Honor, this woman has been so upset by the charges brought against her, she couldn't even find the strength to get her own attorney. I mean, it's inconceivable that a woman who is that demoralized could muster up the energy to take such a drastic and demanding step as fleeing the country.
Mm-hmm. What you say makes sense.
Yes.
Bail will not be revoked, but I am going to increase bail by $10,000. Call it a warning for your client to consider her actions more carefully pending the commencement of this trial. Court is adjourned.
All rise.
You were marvelous.
Careful, Dorian, your depression's cracking.
Oh, it's just I'm really so relieved. I have the $10,000 with me, which means I won't have to go to jail. I was really worried about that.
Dorian, aren't you worried about spending the rest of your life in prison?
Not with you as my attorney. Now then, I'm going to call Chet and have him send my files to your office first thing in the morning. Then, next, when should we meet to go over our strategy?
Second thing in the morning. I want to read your files first thing in the morning.
How does 11:30 in your office sound?
It's fine. Just don't be late.
I swear.
I'm sorry. Oh, Bo, please let me explain.
Okay, I'm listening.
I know you are. I don't know what I'm supposed to say first.
Isn't it funny, though? You never have trouble with an opening statement when you're in there.
Oh, Bo, please. I don't know when you're joking or if you're angry or I just really want you to understand. I don't want to take this case. I have to take it. No, you let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
When I went before the State Disciplinary Committee when I caused the mistrial over Marty's rape, I was sure they were going to disbar me. Well, you were there. You saw how scared I was. The law is in my blood, Bo. I was a hair's breadth away from being disbarred.
Yeah, but you weren't.
No. The committee gave me a break, a suspension. But they told me if I ever messed up again, I might be disbarred.
So you are going to represent Dorian?
There is no way that I can avoid it if I ever want to practice law, Bo, and I do.
What's up?
Well, I just checked my messages, and if I don't miss my guess, Nora won't be stuck with Dorian for long.
Why not?
Because this just might be an open and shut case.
Oh, that's beautiful. Who was it that you spoke with?
Our ace in the hole, Ethel Crawford. Looks like our little nurse is coming to town tomorrow.
Beautiful. She is going to testify that she saw Dorian kill Victor Lohr, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. And when she does, Dorian's defense is going to unravel like a $4 sweater.
This is the greatest. You know, I can already hear that jury foreman say the word guilty.
Thank you.
Excuse me? You're finished, Dorian.
What did you say?
You heard me. You are finished. You are through. The game is over.
Get some fresh air. You're babbling.
I honestly don't know whether Nora being assigned to your case was a twist of fate or a twist that you provided. And I honestly don't care.
Come now. It means nothing at all to you that one of the most effective defense attorneys in this country is going to be working for me?
I feel sorry for Nora. She has to deal with you, but that's all. Beyond that, it doesn't bother me. Because you see, Dorian, no matter who your lawyer is or no matter how much money you throw into this case, you will get what is coming to you very soon in this very building.
Save it for those insufferable editorials you put in the Banner.
You're a murderer. You killed my father, and that is a fact that you have been running away from for 18 years. Well, you can't outrun your past. Not even someone as pathetically desperate as you.
with Nora Gannon as my attorney. Not with Nora Gannon as my attorney.